This Mustang is off the charts, even for the brothers' collection. The odometer on this special paint 1967 Mustang 2+2 shows just 3.4 miles. And you know what? It's legit. So how the heck does a car like this even happen? We all speculate about low mileage cars a half century on, where people make wild guesses on how somebody could not drive a classic or muscle car, and that there's probably all kinds of different reasons. Well, this time, we happen to know the story, but before we reveal the history of this unbelievable find, let's take a gander at the car. This 1967 Ford Mustang is not the hottest version sold in '67, but it is an all-original 2+2 Fastback. The Ford FE Series big block engine was available in the redesigned 1967 cars, but this one relies on the base level 289 V8. It's the two-barrel version, so it's only good for about 200 horsepower and 282 pound-feet of torque, so it's far more sedate than the 271 horsepower Hypo 289, but it's still kind of peppy for the street. That is, if it ever saw a street. The 289 is backed by a 4-speed manual transmission for a little more fun, and an 8-inch rear spins the rear tires. That is, if it ever had the chance. There's a lot of reasons why collectors like low mileage cars like this one. I mean, first off, it's all original. It's never been restored. This is how it looked the day it was born. Second of all, this one is so new that it was never even dealer prepped. So there's no center caps or valve stem caps or windshield wipers or floor mats. They never even got to putting that stuff in yet. And on top of all that, this particular car is painted in a color that was never even available to the public. It smells new inside because, well, it is. It sports an optional center console, AM radio, and deluxe seat belts. The outside view is filtered through tinted glass, but the rest of the interior is basic 2+2. Black buckets, door panels, carpet, and a clean dash layout. One mystery is the color. Noted only as special paint on the window sticker, there was a '67 Mustang special order color called Evening Orchid, and it was used on a special car called the She Country Special, sold by a Ford dealer in Colorado, designed by his wife. But this is not that color, and this is the color the car's worn since day one, so the mystery, it's still not solved. The real story on this car is that a gentleman named Bob Mercer owned a Ford dealership in Hickman, Nebraska, back when this car was new. In 1962, he had an idea. For several years, he was going to personally purchase one of the best-selling new Fords of the day and then store them in a building for 30 or so years until it was time for him to retire. And then he'd sell the cars off, hopefully for a profit, and live off the money. Well, the cars would be kept in as much of an as-new state as possible. Never titled, never prepped, never driven, just total time capsules stored away in his building. 9 cars were purchased, and they all did appreciate just like he hoped, and he sold them all. And today, this '67 2+2 lives in the brothers' collection with a staggeringly low 3.4 miles showing on the odometer. This is perhaps the lowest mileage 1967 Mustang left in existence, and I'm not going to be the one who doubles the odometer just by taking it for a few laps around our parking lot. I'd rather leave it sitting here spinning happily on its turntable, because who knows when the last time this thing even ran. Now, some might look at this one and say, that poor Mustang, it never had the opportunity to blast down the open road, throttle wide open with the sound of freedom roaring from the pipes. But there were millions of other Mustangs, driven as hard as can be, smashed up, neglected, and left for dead, corroding to dust in boneyards only to be recycled into expendable consumer junk. So maybe this is the lucky one, still appearing as it did on day one, standing as a reference for all the others. Its tank eternally filled from the gas pump of youth. We're just happy to have spent some time with the car here in the Brothers Collection and to share this cool story on this unbelievable Mustang. It may be destined to be a museum piece, but you have to admit it is pretty incredible. We'd like to thank our friends of the Brothers Collection for allowing us to play with their cool cars, whether we drive them or not. And what do you think about this 3.5-mile Mustang? Share your comments with us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website. And don't forget to subscribe, because you never know what we're going to have next time on Muscle Car of the Week.